Today we have one of the Mikkelsen twins promoting Ghost Audio. We'll do a quick review of the ad. I make these videos based on my experience with the ad as a consumer. I'm not some expert as if I have like years of running million-dollar ad campaigns. So this is just simply a learning experience for all of us to kind of break down a popular ad on YouTube. And let's just have some fun with it. Let's go through a learning experience together.
We'll be hosting an online workshop where we're going to show you how we've used Ghost Audio to build a consistent 5-figure per month online income.
These brackets are essentially how I labeled the sections. I actually thought that Christian started off really strong in this, hosting an online workshop so you know exactly what the ad's about. And we're going to show you how to use Ghost Audio and how we did it for 5 figures per month online income. So he introduces this concept of Ghost Audio, which I actually think is kind of interesting because it is a new term.
Now, if you're not too number savvy, 5 figures a month is $10,000 a month, steadily. And if you don't know what Ghost Audio is right now, that's completely okay. We don't expect you to. In fact, I doubt almost anyone knows what Ghost Audio is because it's actually something that me and my brother discovered, and we'll be sharing it with you in today's online workshop.
This next section, clarification, he's basically clarifying what 5 figures a month is. I think this section is complete waste. Remember, with YouTube, you have like 5 seconds to really get into the consumer's mind and get them to stay long enough to kind of reach the sales pitch. And I feel like if you're burning this full second or two right here, it's just not an efficient use of time. I felt like if he were to want to maybe clarify this a little further, he could have done it right here. Maybe 5-figure per month on online income. It's generating on average $11,700 a month or something. That would have been really impactful because that would have felt really real to the audience. Instead, he kind of has to clarify, which is some people might even tune out at that point. And he clarifies that Ghost Audio is not something that people might know. I think this is a good statement because when you introduce a new concept, most people probably don't know it. And I doubt anyone almost knows what Ghost Audio is. I will be critiquing this though in just a minute. And me and my brother discovered it's very powerful whenever you can implement like something new. Like we found something new.
What's even cooler is that people have copied us and what we're doing, and like we encourage you to go out and copy us. That's why we're hosting this online workshop. People have copied us and gone out and started making money for themselves as well.
Next segment I called Building Trust Through Altruism. It's basically, people have copied us. We even encourage you to go out and copy us. They started making money for themselves. So it's like these altruistic guys that are willing to help you in this online workshop, and you're going to be able to go out and make money for yourself if you follow the workshop, and we're not expecting anything in return. Now, as we know, when people sign up for these workshops, it is a sales pitch into some type of mentoring, coaching, or some type of sales product, and that's okay, but that's what we know to be true with these webinars. So I don't think this is entirely truthful on him, but it is kind of a powerful sales technique at the beginning of the video where it's just like, hey, we'll help you out, and through reciprocity, you'll probably help us out as well.
For example, here we have Richard, who says, I've made a lot of different kinds of money online, and this is by far the easiest and most passive income to start with that I found amazing. Thanks, Rasmus and Christian.
We immediately get into testimonials. I think Christian does this because he even recognizes that people probably don't even know what Ghost Audio is. And so he is going to use a lot of testimonials. It's just like, here are all the people that are succeeding, trust us, this is a valuable product. And I am kind of turned off by the fact that at this point, I still don't know what Ghost Audio is. If I'm sticking around for this long, it's sure there's an element of like curiosity, like, ooh, I want to learn this new technique. But the fact that there's no mention of like even what industry it's in turned me off. And this, I'm speaking specifically of me as a consumer. Everyone has a different blueprint for what they buy into. But people like me are turned off by vagueness. And so I would want to know, at least by now, just an idea of what Ghost Audio is. Is it something with Amazon? Is it something with real estate? Is it something about, making audio tracks for your grandma to buy her cookies? I have absolutely no idea. It could be anything under the sun. So anyway, we get into the testimonial section, and I think he uses this testimonial first for a reason, because it uses these very easy trigger words, right, for audiences. Easiest and most passive income to start with. I think that is what a lot of people will respond positively to, and so that's probably why I have a feeling he strategically used this testimonial first.
Which reminds me, I should introduce myself. My name is Christian. My twin brother's name is Rasmus. You'll be seeing him on the online workshop.
He does a quick introduction. My name is Christian. My twin brother name is Rasmus. I do feel like there should have been a little bit more credibility added in this ad to like really have the most impact. At this point, it's probably cold traffic because I was getting hit with these ads and I had no idea who they were. And so it's just, hey, my name's Christian and my brother's name is Rasmus. He'll be on the workshop. At no point do you really know anything about them. He's mentioned some money, that he makes 5 figures income, but at no point have they proven it. At no point have they mentioned that they've been in this business for a certain amount of years. At no point have they mentioned we run a large coaching business. There's nothing there to get me to buy into these guys. And I feel like they could have done a better job of introducing themselves in a way to add credibility a little earlier on, because now we're at a minute and I still don't really know who they are.
Next, here we have Elijah, who says just
another testimonial section. We have Elijah, and I think this was added now that we have some tangible proof of money. It's like, okay, yeah, we like it. I just got my first paycheck, and now we have some tangible proof, $1,200. So we have at least some money being earned, which in these business opportunities, money is the most important claim, right? It's not about like, oh, I found happiness or I found my passion. That's almost irrelevant. When people watch these ads, when they're trying to sell these products, it's all about how much money you will make. And so I think that's why this second testimonial includes a specific amount that someone earned. We have another testimonial, let's see, and then he has this sentence, which I think is probably pretty impactful for their audience, where it's like, I used to work as a barista, I used to work 40 hours a week. They're probably targeting people that have day jobs and don't make that much, and now you made more in one day. That's certainly a powerful, impactful statement. And then you throw in this, you found the winning lottery tickets. Wow, that's a pretty interesting claim that Sid made. You found the winning lottery tickets. That's implying that there is a lot of money to be made. And as I just mentioned, that is the most important part of these business opportunities. How much money will you make?
And how you go and put them in is simply by registering for our online workshop. So to be able to do that, all you have to do is click in the upper right-hand corner if you're on mobile, bottom left if you're on desktop. Click that, put in your email address, and you'll be registered for the workshop, which should be starting in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes or so.
Now about a minute and a half, we've got the call to action, the first call to action, which a couple of these ads I've seen, there actually is no call to action. I think it's very important that you actually have something like, what do you want the person watching the ad to do? Makes it very clear. Click in the upper right corner, click that, put in your email address. Very clear. Here's the quick call to action. Please do it. And he includes this statement of the next presentation will be starting in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes or so. So if you actually go to their website, which, side note, number one thing I noticed, remember I tell you guys to pay attention to detail as much as you can. This is their main website, and this is, by the way, it's a very clean website. I actually really like it. However, I noticed little details. We're at July of 2020, and this is not updated, and they're running ads to it. That's something I noticed. I also noticed how we have more income streams than most billionaires, which is not only one of the funniest claims I've ever heard, but not even remotely true. You have two guys, however much success they've had, it's irrelevant, but they essentially have one source of income, maybe two if you count YouTube, and how we have more income streams than most billionaires. Most billionaires have more income streams than you can imagine, 30, 40, I mean, it's endless how many they can have. So when you make a claim like this, I don't like seeing that because I think it's entirely false. But anyway, we're on this page to show you about reserving your seat. And what's interesting is they have the time set up perfectly. It's 1:06 on my computer right now. We've got 1:15. It's just magically, within the next few minutes. And that is the software they use, which is pretty interesting. And it ties into what he's saying here.
Here we have Arnaud, who in his second month.
Next section, we've got another instance of testimonials and more calls to action. At this point, if you're sticking around for this long, I have a feeling if you're an advertiser, you're probably believing that the people are really bought in. If you're sticking around for 2 minutes on a YouTube ad, you're right there on the cusp of clicking. And so I think it's powerful to just be like, hey, we've got another couple of examples of people succeeding. And this is where he really throws it on. Here's another claim at $5,000, which actually, by the way, with this ad, I do like that the claims that they're making are not outlandish, and I do appreciate that. It's, in my opinion, it's actually a little more believable when you're just like, hey, someone made $1,200 or someone made $5,000. That's way more believable than some of these ads. It's like, this guy in 30 days is making $100,000 a month. He owns his own private helicopter and is dating the most beautiful woman on Instagram. It's completely absurd. And then you throw in another testimonial. You can attend by clicking. Here's another call to action. And then I like this, like it's an escalating, this guy started with 1K. It's very believable when you're just like, hey, this guy made $1,000, then 2, then 3, and then all the way to 7K. That's pretty enticing for someone on the fence, which I have a feeling at this point of, 2.5 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes in, someone who's on the fence, this might be the push.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna let a bunch of more of these success stories roll while I talk. And I want to do that because, listen, you sign up for online workshops, you listen to people and their advice on how to create income because you want results. Results is the only thing that matters. And this right here is results. And results is the reason why you should register for today's online workshop, because we got lots of them.
I really like this section. This is another testimonials and a market differentiator. You know, I declare market differentiator as, you know, what do we do differently? And in this section, this was really interesting. It's something I have actually never seen before with an ad, and I am interested in hypnotists. I find them fascinating. One thing I would love for you guys to do after watching this video is actually go check out some hypnotists, like street hypnotists. You can learn a lot about like persuasion, manipulation, and everything with hypnotists, and I felt like this was kind of in line with what they do. He basically gets you to focus on the right-hand part of the screen. It's just like, look at all this scrolling, and the scrolling goes so fast that you can't really read all of it, and so your focus is on the scrolling, and then he's talking to your subconscious as you're not really aware of it, and he pounds the word results 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. He used the word results in like 10 seconds, and then at the end he goes, you know, we got lots of them. So as you're actively paying attention to the right part of the screen, he's talking to what I would consider your subconscious in a way. It's like you're not actively listening, it's just like hitting your brain, and he's just going results, 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 which for a product like this, when you're wanting to get in and you're wanting to make money, all that you care about as a consumer, is it going to work for me? Are there going to be results? I actually felt like this was one of the coolest sections. I don't know how you guys stand. I would love to hear your thoughts. You know, do you find it unethical to do something like that? I personally don't, but I'm a little conflicted because it is a little manipulative, where it's like, you know, if I could get you guys to somehow watch my videos and if I could get you to focus on something and then like secretly, hey guys, subscribe to my channel, make sure to hit like. After you watch every single one of my videos, hit like, make sure to comment. And I do so in a way that like, after you're done focusing on whatever I wanted you to focus on, you're like, oh yeah, I like this guy, I'll subscribe, I'll hit like. I don't know how I feel about that.
So again, to do that, right up here on mobile.
In the last section, we've got another call to action. This is kind of the end of the sales pitch. It's like, by now, just sign up, man. Just sign up, bro. So it's just register, put in your email. We got another 15, 20 minutes before the next presentation. And we're going to hammer the word results again. You know, register there, register there. Overall, I thought this was a decent ad. I'll give it a 6.5. I felt like there were a couple elements missing for me to like really buy in. One, I didn't really like that there's not much credibility to this Christian guy. You know, he mentions himself. I mean, it's basically one sentence. So I'm not entirely bought into who these two are. I mean, remember this, I'm treating this like I'm cold traffic, where I don't know who these guys are. And so I don't really know their validity. I mean, sure, they made a claim about 5-figure per month online income. Did they make 5 figures 1 month? I mean, they say steadily, but I didn't see proof. Because I'm not aware of them, you know, how successful are they? Because I'm on YouTube all the time. How have I not heard of them? There's also mention of this ghost audio. I did not appreciate that there was no mention of what ghost audio even is. Like, I understand you want to keep it vague to get, you know, the people into the presentation because you want to find out what it is. But to a guy like me, and again, this is all, you know, just my perspective, the fact that I never knew even what industry ghost audio is in, it kind of threw me off. And so that's why I gave it a little lower score. But there were some elements that were new to me, and I found some of these elements really interesting in advertising. And so I gave you guys a quick, because I know some of you guys watch this, you're interested in running ads. So I figured I'll break this down for you in what I consider each segment and kind of the time spent on each segment. You know, hopefully this is enjoyable for you guys to watch and somewhat educational, but you can see that he, you know, spent 9 seconds, 11, 5, 23, 21. He did a pretty good job of going through and breaking each section down pretty quickly, and it kind of, the flow and the pace was really strong with this one. And if you're interested, they have a video. This is Rasmus, the brother, a YouTube video, how to have success on YouTube without being lucky. He actually goes in and shows his Facebook ad dashboard, his Google Ads dashboard. And I actually do appreciate this. Is the kind of transparency that I really appreciate. And based on this dashboard of their traffic, which there's no indication that this specific ad is in this dashboard. So I am not saying that these results are an indication of how successful that ad was, but they indicate that they've made some pretty good results with warm traffic. They do pretty well. I think 2,500 cost became something like 12 grand, and then they had some the cold traffic. It looks like they've spent 1,400, and I'm not sure if they've converted at all. But anyway, you can watch this video if interested to kind of get a breakdown of what their ad spend is. But for the most part, it's from what I've seen, I think it was like 4x what they were spending. So if they spent $1, they were making 3 to 4 times for this webinar. So I guess it's converting. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I'd like to think it was a pretty decent ad. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really don't know what I'm doing with this series other than just showing ads, giving my opinion on it, critiquing them in such a way that hopefully it's educational to you. And I am very thankful if you've watched this far. So thanks so much for watching.